stop chasing. Listen, in today's video, I want you guys to really understand the importance of having a system for everything that you do. Okay? Specifically trading, right? But this applies to anything in life. If you are looking to improve upon anything, you have to put a system behind it, right? Something that makes the chance of you not doing it or the chances of it not working out very limited. Okay? When there is a system in place, it removes the margin of error. It removes the amount of mistakes that can take place because there's a process. So when you think about anything that needs to work out, is systemized. Things that are not systemized are not things that have people's lives at stake, right? So when you think about something that may have your livelihood at stake, like your money, there need to be systems around it. Systems for saving your money, right? Automation where when you make money, it automatically goes away to save, right? You gotta get to a certain level where you can get them to automatically pay your bills. I'm gonna be real with y'all, right? Like the people that know, right? It takes a while. You will get there though. You will definitely get there, but it's like you want to have automation for paying your bills. You want to have automation for saving, right? I would say put the automation for saving as a priority. You still got to pay your bills on time. That's important, but make your savings a bill. Make it something that you can't get away from. It comes. And right, and make it very difficult to access it. Put some resistance in between you being able to go and get it, right? Maybe it's in a bank that's not connected to anything. Maybe it doesn't have a card. Maybe you have to go to a certain town or city or whatever to go and withdraw it, right? So it's not something that you can just do because you want to go buy some shoes or something like that, right? So you want to put resistance in between you and the money that you're accumulating, all right? So, that's for savings, and also do this with the money that you're making in you're investing in your options trading and stuff like that. But specifically today, y'all, I want to talk about your options trading, right? You want to have a system for that. I see a lot of people, and I'm proud of y'all, that are winning. And I'm also seeing a few people that are having, a tough time. And what I'm noticing is that those who are having a tough time and those who are thriving, there's a little small difference, right? Engagement and participation and systemization, right? Those who engage and participate the most and then have a system to back that up typically are going to be the ones that have the success. Why is that? Well, they're getting questions answered that they have, right? They're actively making the little tweaks that may seem like it's not taking place when you're growing and trading, right? Like a lot of the growth that takes place in trading, it may not pay off immediately, and it may not seem like you're growing that fast until you're faced with certain scenarios in the market and you know how to respond, right? Sometimes it's over time that you look back and you like, oh man, I really know what I'm doing. All right. But this comes from asking questions. This comes from studying. This comes from back testing. This comes from having a system in place when you trade. I would highly recommend, I've talked about this so many times, journaling. You cannot get around this. It seems like such a simple option. People that journal their life tend to be able to communicate their thoughts and their emotions and feelings much better. They also seem to be a lot more conscious of what's going on in their internal world, right? Also preventing them from, depression and other, negative mental states. So it's the same way with trading. Anybody who is jotting their trades down, they are avoiding bad trades. They are more aware of their patterns and their habits and their movements in the market, so that when presented with certain scenarios, they know how to better execute. All right. So a system that I would recommend is, like I said, preparation, right? Testing and review. Preparation, testing, and review. Preparation, of course, is watch list. Sundays we have the watch list. There's a watch list every day in the Prosperity Collective for the outlook for the day, but you should also be doing this for yourself, right? Testing. Anytime there's a new strategy that you're interested in, you need to be going back and getting real data to confirm that, not just taking somebody's word for it. Going and looking at the charts and seeing the probability and how often, how frequently this particular strategy is working out. Get granular, right? Get really specific and detail oriented, and get probabilities within probabilities, right? If you're going and looking at failed 2Ds, go see how many failed 2Ds worked out of all the last 10 failed 2Ds or the last 100 failed 2Ds. Then go back and look at all the failed 2Ds that worked out that had a hammer or that had a larger body, right? Continue to just dig and dig and dig into your strategy until you get to a point where you have very strong data and statistics about every different type of scenario that can take place. This is what's going to take you to the level where you can start being like, oh yeah, I see this forming, and you're able to catch earlier parts of moves. You're able to avoid wipeouts in the market because your pattern recognition is on a whole nother level. Okay. And then finally, the review part. Again, I've been encouraging you guys since last year to review. You're going to prep for it, right? You're going to be watching stocks. You're going to be looking at your fundamentals and making sure that everything is good on the technical side and fundamental side on stocks. And then you're going to go over and you're going to test the strategy, make sure that it actually works. So then when it's presented in the market, you're going to execute. And then at the end of the week, review. You're going to look at your P&L. You're going to go back and look at yourself. Like, what was my mindset like this week? Like, was I taking quality trades? Was I making quality decisions? What was my worst case, drawdown? What was the worst situation I found myself in the market this week, right? And take notes on it. Make little tweaks, make little adjustments. Repeat this process every week. We got 52 weeks in the year. Repeat it every week. You do this. I'm trying to tell you, by the end of the year, you will end up with much more money than you made last year. Now you're going to have a foundation laid, right? You start to stack years on top of that with this same system in place. That's when the wealth starts to accumulate. That's when you turn into a different beast. That's when you don't have to worry about reporting to go somewhere that you don't want to be and take, energy on from people that you don't want to be around. This is when you become free in this matrix, right? When you can start to make decisions based off of how you feel intuitively because you've already taken care of yourself financially. All right, this is the ultimate goal. I know that this is where anybody that's living in the United States is trying to get to, right? If this is you and you want to get locked into this, continue to tap in, right? Continue to consume the videos. If you want to take a deeper dive, the link to the community is always in all the videos. All the descriptions of all my videos. All right. It's always love over here. I appreciate you guys, man. I want y'all to win this year. We're going to keep coming with heat every day. Catch me on live, 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern. All right. We're going in this year. We're not playing around. I'm talking about anybody we're talking about 100K, everybody coming into the group. We want to see you get there. All right. Remember, invest smart, live free. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.